what could we be doing differently? I mean, I briefly said, look, for the amount of public investment in the vaccine and its rollout, shouldn't we be getting more bang for our buck, so to speak? Shouldn't we be able to make some demands on these companies? What could we be doing?
So there's so much we can be doing. The really depressing thing about the conversation with the TRIPS waiver is that the TRIPS waiver should be the bare minimum. I mean, that's just like the political equivalent of removing your boot from someone's neck. Ideally, it would go so much further, right? Like ideally, there would be global wealth redistribution for the purposes of getting the vaccine to as many people as possible. Wealth redistribution, resource redistribution. The United States and other wealthy countries have made huge promises on, not huge. They've made promises on vaccine donations that they have not delivered on. There should be some combination of those donations should happen, but also global South countries should be given what they need so that they can produce vaccines themselves. This requires vaccine recipes. It requires technical know-how. It requires resources. It feels like the last thing companies want to do is to just give global South countries the ability to do it themselves. Every framework is so patronizing, is so colonial in its mindset. And so we just need a whole lot, and the TRIPS waiver should be the bare minimum. And that's why it's so upsetting that there's been no progress even.
And you think that if the United States, if we could if we could stand up or be one of the first countries to stand up to big pharma, we could potentially be a leader in that, and put some international pressure on the companies.
Yeah. So because the US is so powerful at the WTO, there's a lot that it could do to be pushing countries like the United Kingdom, pushing the EU. Germany is sort of the de facto leader of the EU, and it's one of the biggest obstacles to a TRIPS waiver. When Angela Merkel visited the United States a few months ago, her visit was met with mass protests and with people calling on the Biden administration saying like, hey, you should really talk to Angela Merkel about the fact that she's blocking the TRIPS waiver proposal. And so,
right.
There's a ton, the Biden administration could just be talking about this in good faith. It could be supporting the proposal as is. The Biden administration, according to everything we know, isn't actually supporting the current proposal. It just supports a patent waiver of some kind theoretically, but it's not even being clear about what exactly that is. So we need specificity. We need, at bare minimum, the Biden administration to be clear about what it's fighting for if it says it's going to be fighting for a patent waiver.
What's going on, Frantifa? If you haven't already, subscribe to this channel right now. Hit that button. And also, you can become a patron and support the show every single week. Get access to bonus episodes and exclusive merchandise. Patreon.com/bitchuation room. Do it.